Welcome to the garden in August. When I got here today, it had been 2 weeks since the last time I was here, so there were a lot of things to catch up with in the garden. A lot of the broccoli had started flowering, unfortunately, so I took out a lot of it and have planted some lettuce here instead. That I had pre-sown in the greenhouse. So I've actually never grown lettuce apart from like lamb's lettuce, so I'm not so familiar with it, and I'm a little bit afraid it'll get eaten by the snails, but maybe it'll be good, so we'll see. So this is what the lettuce looks like now. Hopefully it gets established here soon. So yeah, let's do a quick tour here. So here are the plants that are left. There are 2 purple cauliflower plants, and 1 broccoli plant. I'm hoping maybe it'll give some more sprouts. I cut off the flower from that, and then I also have 1 more broccoli here that I think I'm just going to leave it like this. And then I have this squash plant here, which is finally making some fruits. And the same, my other squash is over here, and that also has 1 coming along. And then here, the middle bed is just amazing. It's so full of flowers. I'm very happy with this. I had to cut the piece in between here, so then I had to pull out some of the flowers because they were leaning too much. That's one of the things I've noticed, that the calendula, these ones, are very good at like holding their own weight. So I think I'll next year maybe try to focus on putting those out on the sides, because they don't lean over into the walkway here. You can see, because on this side I had some other flowers planted and they've been leaning a lot, but on this side I've had calendula and I haven't had to remove any plants here. It's kept it very, very clean. So yeah, maybe next year I'll do only those, maybe with some I like these cornflowers in between. Maybe I'll do like orange calendula and blue cornflowers instead. I'll figure that out next year. And then here we have the Jerusalem artichoke, which are quite large, and these stems, let's see, this one, it's so big. It's like, I don't think I've ever grown Jerusalem artichokes with stalks like this, so that'll be really exciting to see if they've actually made any Jerusalem artichokes. And then I also have the broad beans over here, which are looking so promising. I'm so happy that I managed to tie these up before they started flopping over too much, because they're looking really, really good. Yeah, and then I just let these edible chrysanthemum be. I think they look so pretty. And then I have some nasturtium growing in below the Jerusalem artichoke, so they give some nice color as well. And then I have the potato, and here are some of the flowers I had to remove. But yeah, the potato bed here isn't looking too good, but it's okay. And then I just put some broad beans in the ground here, and they've started coming up. A few spots there, and there's one there, so that's good to see. But that's just for like green manure. Look at those. That's amazing. It's like a jungle. Oh, and the horse mint has started flowering. I think maybe they're a little bit stressed in these pots, because I don't think the leaves should be this orange, but I don't want them spreading too much, so they'll just have to deal with it. There isn't so much to update in this bed. I can just do a quick over. Oh, but these are some kind of malva. I've mentioned it before, and this is flowered, so that's very nice. But I think maybe I should have put it more in the front, because it's not as tall as I thought it might be. And another thing that was kind of exciting is that this Aquilegia, oh, now it even has seeds in these pods. Maybe I can spread them. I want to take some of these and plant them in my meadow area over by the bird bath. But I don't want to risk killing this, but since it was one of the plants that was here when we took over the cabin, and I feel like it's kind of special. But I was cleaning some weeds over here, and I noticed this is where I dug it up, and there's more here, this. So I think I'll leave this here for now, since it seems happy, and I don't think I should transplant it right before the winter. But then maybe next summer, a little bit earlier in the summer, I'll if it's still here, I'll move this to that meadow area instead. Or maybe just keep it here. It seems very happy here, but I don't think it flowers here because it's so shady. And then one thing, oh, of course now the greenhouse is a mess, but one of the things I felt like I didn't really mention last time was that I finally got all that trash out of the greenhouse. Actually the greenhouse is cleaner than it's ever been. So you can see this table. Now I have some stuff stored there, but a lot of it, it's all gardening stuff. So it feels really nice to not have lots of trash here, of course. And there was also lots of trash lying outside on the other side. There's still that table that we need to figure out what to do with, but we got everything up off the grass. There was an old gas heater and lots of stuff. So all of that's taken away now, finally, so I can mow the lawn. And yeah, in here things are looking a little different than last vlog, because I had lots of sugar snap peas growing in the middle here. I took them away because they were starting to get kind of old, and also I think for now the plants that are left here are strawberries in the middle. Mainly, there are of course lots of plants here, but the main ones I want to focus on are these cucumber plants on this side, and then the strawberries in the middle, and then the physalis in the back there. The physalis had flopped over, over into the middle of the greenhouse, which I think is actually kind of how it grows naturally. It's not really a climbing plant. I think it's just sort of like a flopping plant, maybe kind of like pumpkins, but that's not how I want to grow it in here. I want to grow it up, but it was really hard. It had sort of flopped over and then started growing up, and so the stalks were kind of bent, so it was really hard to sort of put them up like that, but I did the best I could. So I want them to be growing up so that they have enough airflow around them so they don't start molding. Because that's kind of a problem in here. Since I'm not here so often, I don't air out the greenhouse as much as it should. So I tried to keep it not so jungly. So I took away all the peas, and I took away also the chicory that I had growing. That was kind of a hard decision. I took one of them and planted out in the flower, my meadow area over there, and a few weeks ago I took two of them and planted out in the perennial bed on the outside here. So I have 3 plants that hopefully will survive, and then I just took the rest to the compost. because I really can't spend that space in here on those. And the cucumbers had also sort of been flopping over this way, although some of them have been climbing very nicely, exactly as I hoped they would. But I had to kind of help some of them, so that's why like this one is looking kind of not so great, but hopefully as they start climbing up it'll get better. And no cucumbers yet. I see some flowers, but they look like the, I think, male flowers, not the ones that actually produce the fruit, so we'll see. My grape is escaping outside. There's a vine here, so that's very happy. And then I also had coriander and parsley here, and the parsley is still there, but the coriander had started to flower, so I just took that out. And then I kind of took out some of the parsley so that it's not so dense. But I really like having the parsley here, so I'll keep it for a little bit more longer. And then the flowers had kind of dried up, and so I cut them and put them down in there, so I'm going to fill this with like compost, garden compost. And then I have some little, some lettuce here, and some more. These are kind of like different like Asian lettuce, like cabbage lettuce, I don't know exactly what it's called. And then I have over here I have some kale and bok choy, and then I have some different flowers. These are both perennial and some annual ones. And these are perennial flowers that I want to plant out in the my meadow. And here you can see the physalis. So there are lots of these fruits, or at least a few, maybe not a lot, but there are definitely some fruit, but nothing ripe yet. And then I have this one surviving, this is a perennial cabbage called homesteader. There are two plants, but I think it's like from, because this is the old stock, but the mice ate it up, but then these two sprouted from the root. So that's very exciting. I don't know how long this will last or if it'll survive the winter, but we can give it a try. Yes, I think that's the greenhouse. So I completely forgot to kind of summarize all the changes, because you sort of forget what has changed. By the way, look at those beautiful pink strawberry flowers. This is such a nice variety of strawberries. It's just a little bit unfortunate because the strawberries tend to get moldy in here. I'm so looking forward to this winter when I can like even out the soil here. And the only perennial plants here now are the strawberries and the homesteader perennial cabbage and the grape plant. But I think, so the strawberries I'll try to move into pots like I've started doing, and then the cabbage I'll just have to work around, but it's pretty easy to work around. And then I'll fill up with a little bit more, some more dirt, and then try to like even it out, and I'm really very much looking forward to that. It's such a satisfying feeling when you have like a clean new garden bed. There's so many that it makes me feel really rich. Here I have these wild strawberries, and I think they make strawberries a little bit later, but they have a lot of flowers now at least, and they've had some strawberries too, which have been delicious. So maybe we get some strawberries later on. Another exciting thing that happened this summer was that this back got painted. Last year I just did like the foundation paint, that beige stuff that you can still see around the window there. But now this got painted, and not by me, by a friend. And the window things got one layer of paint, so we need to do another layer if we get some nice weather. But now it's going to be raining, like dangerous amounts of rain, so we need to wait for nicer weather, and then I need to do the first coat around there. But at least it looks a lot nicer now that it's red. So I think that's enough of an update for now. I'm very much looking forward to September and October. I've ordered some flower bulbs for tulips and lilies. I think it's called like a tiger lily. There was one day I was like weed whipping over by the um, my meadow, and just a second too late, I saw that there was like a bud for a tiger lily that I had just cut over with a weed whipper, and was so sad. And that's also one of the plant. Like I have not planted that hair. That was hair from before, and I think it's pretty exciting with with the aquilegia, and there are some daffodils. Um, and yeah, I just really like keeping these plants that were here from before we got the cabin. So I ordered some new like some bulbs for tiger lilies. So hopefully if I kill that one, then we can get some new ones growing there. So that's one of the things I'll be doing this maybe in October or November. And I also ordered a lot of seeds for like some uh, both native and not native wildflowers here. So I'm going to this. I need to do it pretty soon before the grass starts like laying down flat. But so fairly soon I'll go over with this like whoosh, whoosh, I don't know what it's called, scythe maybe, and cut the grass in the meadow down, and then I remove it because for like meadows like that you want it to be very like nutrient poor soil, so you don't want the grass to lie there because then it'll fertilize the ground. So I cut it and then I remove the grass to kind of remove the nutrients, and then once I've done that, uh, then in the spring, well, so then I'll sow the seeds for the flowers. All of them are like perennial flowers, wildflowers. So I'll sow them this fall in the greenhouse. Um, it says on the package that you can sow them either like in the spring or late fall. So I think I'll do a little bit of both in case the fall sowing doesn't work out. So that's kind of a big project, getting like more flowers in the uh, wildflower meadow. I think fall is my favorite time of the year for sure. Even though it's sad saying goodbye to all the plants and like packing down the garden and preparing it for winter, I feel like it's kind of, you finally get to breathe a little bit, and it's a very calming feeling, like putting things away and just like trusting that it'll survive through the winter. Um, so, uh, and I love preparing the soil, like just like burying bokashi compost, um, and I like covering the soil, and all those preparations just I they make me very happy. And cleaning out the plants that have been growing there, all of those things are just like very nice tasks, I think. So